Hi guys, good morning, afternoon, evening. For me, it's like 10 o'clock at night. Cheyenne's been out for like an hour. And sorry I look like this. I went out for like a run or jog or whatever, and I just don't feel like jumping in the shower before doing this video. So we're gonna get to it.
Okay guys, so analyzing data, you've got to be able to visually look at a dot plot and know a little bit about it. So a dot plot is just like a line. Let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So a dot plot has dots above each one. Or maybe not each one, but it may skip some. Okay, so like this would be a dot plot. So like the data from this would be 1, 1, 2, 5 threes, a 4, and then, I don't like having 3 sixes in a row, and then 4 sixes. Oh, that's a 6, not a 4. Alright, and so like, this would just be this set of data. 1, 2, 5 threes, a 4, and then, I don't like having 3 sixes in a row, and then 4 sixes.
Like here's one, and then I'll give you another one. You've got to be able to not only like read the dots, you got to read kind of like the outlay of it all. I'm gonna go up by 2s this time. All right, so you've got to be able to read this and see if it's symmetrical or asymmetrical. And those words, symmetrical and asymmetrical. Symmetrical just means it's like the same on both sides. So like an example would be like your face. I mean, most people, one side of your face looks very similar, if not identical, to the other side of your face. That would be symmetrical. Asymmetrical would be something like, this pencil. If I cut it down the middle, this side looks different than this side. So asymmetrical just means it doesn't look the same or doesn't look similar on both sides. So I'm gonna make one.
Right here. And this one's gonna be symmetrical. Alright, now, like if you take something and draw it down the middle, those are about the same. Those are about the same. These are different. This one has 2, this one has 1, but overall, like without that 1, it looks the same on both sides. So this is symmetrical because it's not necessarily exact on both sides, but it's similar on both sides. So, okay. So this one is symmetrical because it looks similar on both sides. More so, this is symmetrical because it's not necessarily exact on both sides, but it's similar on both sides. So, okay. So this one is symmetrical because it looks similar on both sides. Okay. So this one is symmetrical because it looks similar on both sides. Okay. And dot plots can go up by any increment as long as it's a consistent increment.
And you're not necessarily going to need to know this for 8th grade. It's just a 7th grade TEK. I think you'll need to be able to know this once you get into high school, but since I haven't taught high school, I can't tell you for sure on that. All right, so this is from my class last year, and it was just how many people live in your household. All right, so this is not exact. I added one more on the 3, so I took one away from the 4. So with this, the dots represent like the student's hand. So like this was, I don't know the names of the students, so I'm just gonna give some of y'all's names. So like this would be Casey. This would be Austin. In Casey's family, there's 3 people: mama, daddy, her. Austin, mama, him, little brother. You had 3 people in the household. So the dots represent the number of people that the number of people interviewed or surveyed, and then the numbers down here represent the number of people in the house.
Alright, so when it asks how many people were surveyed, well, you count the dots. So 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna just put a 5 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9 here. Okay. So when it asks for how many total people were surveyed, you add 5, 9, 7, 3, and 1. So you can add whatever way works for you. I'm just combining 7 and 3 is 10, 9 and 1 is 10, and then 5. So 25 people were surveyed. We're going to find the mode, the median, the range, and the mean. Okay, so mode, that's going to be the most repeated number. Okay, so mode, M-O, most repeated number. If you look back here, the most, or the highest dots was 4, so our mode is going to be 4. Alright, our mean, nope, we'll do mean last. Our median, okay. If you think of the word median, think of the word medium, which is like in the middle of small and large. That's the same thing as median. It's in the middle. Or if you think of driving, there's a median in the middle of the road. So just look for the middle number. The median number, middle number, we're going to take off a high and a low, and those are paired. A high, low, all the way until we get to the middle. Or if you think of driving, there's a median in the middle of the road. So just look for the middle number. The median number, middle number, we're going to take off a high and a low, and those are paired. A high, low, all the way until we get to the middle.
All right, so your median is going to be 4. Now, it's not always going to end up that way, just for the simple fact of we just had a lot of 4s. But it isn't always going to end up that way. All right, the next one we're going to, one more thing. From 6th grade to 7th grade, they changed the name median to center. So you've got to know that if it asks what is the center of this data, it's talking about the median. But think center is in the middle. All right. And then the next one you need to know is range. And again, like, range is how far something is spread out. Think of home on the range. It's like a big, long range, so it's like highest to lowest. It's no longer called range. In 6th grade, it's called range. In 7th grade, it's called spread. So if you think of taking a piece of toast and spreading butter, jam, peanut butter, whatever, from one side all the way to the other, you're taking everything in between. So everything in between the highest and the lowest. All right. And to get the spread, you're just going to take the highest number minus the lowest number. Well, on here, I put on here 9 plus. So this person over here had like 12 people in their family, but I didn't want to go blah, 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 all the way to to 12. So we just said we're just going to stop at 9. So we're just going to use 9. So the highest number is 9 and the lowest number is 3. We don't take the highest, like there's 9 4s. We don't take that. We take the highest number on the number line minus the lowest number. So the range would be 9 minus 3. So it would, the range would be 9 minus 3, which would be 6. All right, and then the mean, that one actually stays the same, which is the average. So you're going to add everything up and divide by how many there are.
Now, if you, of course, are going to calculate next year, but a quick, easy way is, well, I said there's 5 3s, 3 times 5 is 15. So 15. 4 times 9 is 36. 5 times 7 is 35. 6 times 3 is 18. And then 9 times 1 is 9. When you add that all up, you get 113. So if you were doing this by hand, say you're a current 7th grader looking at this, that's an easy way to kind of go through that.
All right. So that's the information we have right there. All right. We're going to look at just a few questions that they could ask about this. So we've already figured this out, but what they might give you that, they might give us that dot plot and say, okay, well, what percent have 5 people in their home or in their household? So what percent have 5 people in their household? Well, we're going to look and see how many there are above 5. Well, there's 7, okay? So 7 people have 5 people living in their household. All right, so that's when we get into this part over whole equals percent over 100. Some of you all will remember is over of. Is over of equals percent over 100. So we're just going to fill out what we know. It says what percent. We don't know the percent, so we're going to leave that percent there. And this should sound familiar for my students. All right. Whole is the total number of students. Well, we've already figured out that the total number of students was 25. Okay. And then what part are we looking for? We're not looking for 5. That's where where it gets a little tricky. What percent of people have 5 people in their household? So how many people surveyed, what percent had 5 people in their household? Well, that's 7. So 7 people out of the 25. And then from there, you can cross multiply, divide by the lonely guy, so 7 times 100, which is 700, and then divided by 25. Or you could do the little shortcut way, and the shortcut way is real easy if the denominator if you can kind of do it in your head, how many times the denominator goes into the other one. So like 25 times 4 is 100. So 7 times 4 is going to give you your answer. So 7 times 4 is 28. So what percent of people have 5 people in their household? 28%. Now, I guarantee you that they're going to have 25 as an answer because they're going to think, oh, 5 out of 25, 5 out of 25 is not 25%, it's 20%. I'm sorry. They'll have 20% as one of the answer choices. So just whenever you're answering those questions, make sure you pull out what it's asking. Another one could be, all right, so this one says what percent. This one will say what fractional part. They could also say what decimal part had such and such. This one, what fractional part had 4 people in their household. Well, it's the same thing as what we did here. We know that it's part over whole, but it's not asking for a percent. It's asking for a fraction. Well, part over whole is a fraction. So we're just going to take, well, the total was 25. And then we're looking for what part had 4 people. So let's look back over here. 4 people, there's 9. So 9 out of 25. And so sometimes it'll give you ones that may have been like 10 out of 25 and you have to simplify it. This one you don't have to simplify because the only number that goes into 9 evenly is 3 and 9. And the only one that goes into 25 evenly is 25 and 5, like itself and 5. So, all right. Okay, so this was a relatively short video. Just make sure to come back tomorrow, look at your Google Classroom. I might have a thing on quizzes or IXL. I really do like quizzes just because you can keep going over and over and over again and make 100 versus IXL. Once you get to like 90% or whatever, it's like you do one question to get to 100. If you miss one, it docks you like 15 points. And so I think that quiz is a little bit more fair. Anyway, go ahead and check your Google Classroom in the morning. Talk to you later. Bye.